Fulfill the promise of your youth. Get in touch with your essence to find out what you came here to do or what will most fulfill you now that you are here. So youth in this sense is mostly metaphorical. It means that which is of your essence, your birthright, as compared to compared to what is imposed upon you by circumstance or that you've are doing based on conditioning. Reclaiming the promise of your youth is a core task, whether you are young, old, or in between. The promise is that which you remember well on your deathbed, the mission implicit in your soul. When I'm fulfilling my promise, I feel a depth of well-being, but when I neglect it, even for short periods of time, I'm consumed by anxiety. And so writing is when I most feel I'm fulfilling that promise. But if I have a day that takes me away from writing, I feel a lot of anxiety. It can feel like existential dread and I'm wasting my life and this kind of thing. Anxiety can sometimes be helpful as the spiritual version of pain. Just as bodily pain is crucial to keep you from harming yourself, there are people that have a rare neurological disorder where they don't feel pain, and they usually don't live very long. They have to wear helmets and gloves because you don't realize how much we need pain as a form of feedback to just not sit in one position too long and cause some part of our body to lose blood circulation and this kind of thing. Anxiety and depression are sometimes crucial in telling you that you have departed from the experience of meaning, that's a phrase from the Uranus I Ching, and need to move toward the experience of meaning, toward that which is intrinsically significant. It's easier said than done as we live in an extrinsic world that constantly demands attention, time, energy, and resources. To ground this in practicality, is there a big dream you've had but are now neglecting? If the big dream is crucial to your promise, you must fulfill it. A good rule of thumb for fulfilling your big dream is that at a minimum, almost any big dream needs at least 2 hours of focused work daily. 2-hour-plus blocks of time are hard to find. My answer is to get up early in the morning and do the high-value work, the writing in other words, before the distractions of the day set in and the low-value mechanical tasks have to take over. The big dream is not necessarily a creative or artistic task, as it is with me. It could be anything that fulfills your soul. Friendship, raising children, gardening, only you know what your big dreams are. Consider this an auspicious time to fulfill the promise of your youth. When I'm writing, I feel I am doing that, but there are a couple of ways in which maybe I've fallen short. So when I had my first major paranormal experience when I was 2.5 years old, and it seemed to be ancestors, but especially a deceased grandmother who died during World War II, so I never met her, Augusta Zapp, but I recognized her essence when I saw photographs of her. And the one thing that I could most distinctly remember from this encounter, and it had some evidential qualities, and I'm sure I've described it elsewhere, but is she said to me, "You have the gift of an understanding heart." So I'm not sure if I've fulfilled that because, of course, I seem more like somebody who has the gift of an understanding head. But maybe sometimes I've wondered, okay, maybe I'm misreading that. I'm not always empathic in a warm and fuzzy sense, but I'm good at locating other people's shadows, certain other aspects. I'm good at having insights into other people. I tend to be bad at having the feeling toned sensitivity to locate what they're ready to hear, however, because, I'm a intuitive thinking type. That was the same type Jung was, by the way. And if you're in the Jung's mandala, typological mandala, where we have thinking, feeling, sensation, and moving, kinesthetic, aesthetic types, and so on. If you're on thinking is on the opposite side of the mandala as feeling. So if you're a thinking type, feeling tends to be the inferior function. It's not that I don't have feelings or I'm completely unaware of them in others, but it's not at the forefront of my consciousness as much as thinking and intuition is. So maybe I haven't fulfilled the gift of an understanding heart perfectly. And then another promise made in my youth when I was like 5 years old or something to the 5 Irish girls that lived next door was I said, when I grow up, I'm going to be a famous writer and wear a ruby ring. Well, I'm not completely unknown, but I wouldn't call myself famous, and that's why I don't have a ruby ring. I have a synthetic blue sapphire ring instead. So that's something that I need to fulfill. Maybe you can help me fulfill it if there are any like publishing talent scouts out there that want to make me a famous writer. Please do so. But some promises we make in our youths may be more narcissistic, grandiose ambitions. I don't think I really need to be a famous writer to fulfill my promise, but I do need to do my creative work. And this is an example of it, the Oracle.